of the agenda. Deputy Reeve Campbell, Councillor Vodden, all in favor? Carried. Okay, disclosure of pecuniary interest, if any. None noted. Moving to the consent agenda, is there anything anybody would like pulled out for special consideration? Councillor Vodden.
I have one item from the CAO's report, 4.2.3. There's quite a good idea, I think, under administration of circulating information about motions passed and discussions that have taken place in the meeting. The only caution that I have there is the fact that there could be some confusion over the approved motions that will come out later. There could be a discrepancy, and so I think we may need to make it clear that this is not the official decision of council, but it's a temporary communication to the press. And I think it would be good if the council would also receive a copy of that breakdown. Okay. That's the only one that I have.
Okay. Is there anything that any of the other councillors says? Can I have a motion? Deputy Reeve Campbell, Councillor Hallahan, all in favor of receiving all the consent agenda? There's no public meetings or public delegations. Moving into the finance department, this is something we do every year. 6.2.1, it's a 2008 section 357 report. Donna, do you want to explain that?
Sure, thank you, Reeve. So under section 357 of the Municipal Act, there is, it provides for the reduction or cancellation or refund of taxes under certain criteria. And the criteria for the three applications that we have before us this evening are demolition. So all three of these properties had some sort of a demolition, whether it be a complete removal of a building or a partial piece of a building that was removed. So all these applications have been sent to MPAC, and we've received a recommendation from MPAC on how much of the assessment is allocated to the portion of these buildings that's been removed, and therefore the dollars have been calculated to go with that. So the total for the three properties listed is $1,231.17, and staff are recommending that those applications be approved and the collector's roll be amended to reflect that change. This meeting meets the criteria under the Act, as the applicants are allowed to speak to their application, and I'm not sure if any of those three applicants are in attendance this evening. They would have received notification of the their application coming forward tonight. So,
So if there's any of those people here that would like to speak of those three applicants, then now would be when we would hear from them. Seeing no further.
seeing none, so we'll proceed with the motion then from council, if council so chooses to approve these three separate applications.
I have a mover. Councillor Knott, Councillor Hallahan. You have a question, yeah. Councillor Syke?
Through you, Reeve, to Donna. Donna, do we have any indication of do we get those applications are sent directly to MPAC, or are they sent to MPAC through us?
Yes, that's correct. They come here first.
So I guess my question is, how many applications do we have in the, so I would say, not approved list that we could determine what that potential result could be? I'm seeing we budgeted 26,000.
Right.
The question is that, do we have 3 applications still to be approved by MPAC, or do we have 50?
At the moment, they're all up to date, but they have until September 30th to bring their applications in. So there's really no way of judging how many we're going to get. It depends on how many. Right now, there are no more applications of this nature in the queue.
Okay, that's all, yeah, good, thank you.
Any further questions or clarification or? All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay. Moving to 6.4.1 in Public Works, Surface Treatment Capital Project 2018. Would you like to talk on that, please, Sean?
Yes, thank you, Reeve. As it says, this is to do with procurement, and it's associated directly with one of the capital projects that we had in the budget, was approved for 2018. Specifically, this will be the second surface treatment for the rural roads. We're looking at finishing up Moncrief and Reeve. Do the application of a second layer of tar and chip. Pricing came in at $69,888, and we based the pricing on tying ourselves to a group procurement that took place earlier this spring. We contacted the firm that was successful in winning the group procurement, asked if we would, if they would consider including us in the pricing. They agreed, so as a result, we received this quote.
Good work. Congratulations. Do we have a motion for this? Deputy Reeve Campbell, Councillor Hallahan. Anybody want to comment on this subject? All those in favor? Carried. Okay. Also, 6.4.2, the Blythe Library lease. Sean, if you want to comment on that too, please.
Yes, thank you, Reeve. This is just kind of the final piece of a great deal of work that Pat took care of on the rec side. As everybody's probably aware, the ownership of the building that the library is housed in Blythe changed hands. So that obviously was a driver to revisit the lease, which was done, again, that was a negotiation between the property owner and Pat. I'm just fortunate enough to be able to bring the final piece here. Basically, the terms and conditions are unchanged with the exception that we'll call it the exit clause of the lease was modified insofar as the requirement now is that if either party wishes to terminate the lease, they're to give notice by August 31st that they want to be out by the end of that year. As soon as we get through this one, which this particular portion of the lease runs from June 1st to the end of the year, that's why it's important to deal with it tonight. As soon as we get to that point, it just renews automatically on an annual basis until one party or the other serves notice. Outside of that, unchanged, snow removal remains the same. Cost is adjusted annually for CPI.
I move approval.
Councillor Vaughn moves. Councillor Knott seconds. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay. Okay, moving to the CAO's report, 6.7.1, employee group benefits update. Dwayne?
Thanks, Reeve. So as part of the consortium, we're in with Huron County Lower Tiers, Huron County Upper Tier, Perth County Lower Tiers, Perth County Upper Tier, and St. Mary's. And collectively, those municipalities contribute into a consortium, which is a fund of money that basically is to the benefit and provides the benefits to staff. We've been in that now for a number of years. And there's a consultant that manages that portfolio for us. The consultant has reviewed that fund and determined that we have a surplus of funds in that account. And it's recommended that municipalities withdraw funds out of that account proportionately and put into reserve account to be used on special projects. And we've been, as staff, kind of discussing, kind of some special project perhaps for consideration, but we haven't landed on anything at this point. So the recommendation that is before you is to proceed with setting up a reserve account to deposit the withdrawal funds into that account, and we'll bring back a report with some options and some recommendations for council.
Councillor Syke,
I'll move it.
seconder. Councillor Ritzman Taninga. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay, moving into correspondence. 7.1, the Huron Pioneer Thrasher and Hobby Association request for support for the community event September 7th and 8th, 2018. Richard?
Yes, thank you, Reeve. So the this request came in from the Thrashers to request that support for their application for an SOP and that the event be proclaimed of municipal significance. So the motion is that the Council of Township of North Huron hereby supports the Huron Pioneer Thrashers and Hobby Association, Inc. in making application to LCBO for a special occasion permit to hold a beer garden at the Blythe Community Center in conjunction with the Huron Pioneer Thrasher and Hobby Show to be held September 7th to 8th, 2018, and further that Council proclaims the event of municipal significance.
I'll move it.
Councillor Slate, Councillor Knott. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, 7.2, Huron County request for a letter of support for municipalities for climate innovation program, or MCIP climate change staff grant.
Thank you, Reeve. So this is another piece of correspondence. The County of Huron has requested support from North Huron in the form of a letter for supporting their application for this particular grant. And the motion corresponding with that is that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby supports Huron County in their application for the municipalities for climate innovation program, climate change staff grant, and in doing so authorizes the Reeve to send a letter of support for Huron County's application.
Councillor Vaughn,
Move approval.
move. Seconder? Deputy Reeve Campbell. Discussion, go ahead, Deputy Reeve.
This is a one-time grant then, I would assume, to hire this person. So next year, this will be on the taxpayer's thing. It doesn't say it's a grant that we're going to receive yearly. It's just a question, I don't know.
That, I would say, is definitely undecided. That county council would have to approve of an extension of this if there isn't grant. But I'm not saying that hasn't happened in the planning department before.
Yes, I know.
Councillor Singh.
So the way this letter reads is that they're applying for the grant in hopes of getting the grant and then hiring this individual. The individual has not been hired.
No.
So they're waiting for the grant if they get it.
Yes.
Okay.
The hiring is conditional on the grant coming through.
Good. Thank you.
Anything further? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay. 7.3, Public Central School, or Central Public School, request for support for grade 8 graduation. The letter requests a $50 donation. Councillor Knott.
I'll make the motion and I have a question. As we go. You seconder, do you want me to give the question? Get a second.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Vaughn, go ahead, Councillor Knott.
If I'm not mistaken, we've given this before. This actually is similar where it's like the bursary. This is given to the student, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it? Isn't there a student involved in this? gets the award of the Hall H or whatever? This isn't really in support of their graduation ceremony.
It's not tied to any geographic location of where a student comes from.
No.
And I believe that it's something like receiving a varsity letter for, and that there'll be a certain number of them given out. And this is asking for a $50 donation towards buying a bunch of the letter H's.
Yeah. It's not actually for their ceremony. That's why I just wanted to clarify because that's, yeah, I have no problem.
Councillor Ritzman-Tenenga?
I really don't think we should be spending taxpayer dollars on giving donations to schools. They could be asking private companies for this. So I'm not in favor of that.
Councillor Sykes?
What, if I do mistake, we made a decision on another request last month or last 2 weeks ago. That was of the same nature, correct?
Somewhat. There was 2 requests.
Yeah,
at the last.
The one was
This maybe falls someplace in between the 2.
I just think we should be consistent. The conversation should always be, if we're making a decision that's significant, that is of significant, even if insignificant nature in this particular case, we should be consistent with our decision-making process. If that's the purpose for me, if we made a decision 3 weeks ago or 6 months ago that said we're not going to provide a donation or support on this type of thing, then we shouldn't do it. So I guess my question is this consistent, this request, is it consistent to the one we denied last 2 weeks ago? And if it was, that's to me where I'm going to sit. But I believe the discussion 2 weeks ago was if it was specifically for a resident of North Huron, I was in support of that. If it was just for the general school, then I don't think at least I was not in favor of that, because I think I want to support people within the municipality, not just general, especially when the fact that the school is technically in Central Huron.
Okay, Councillor Vaughan.
I don't agree that it's the same situation as turning down helping with a dinner for the celebration. That's the one that we turned down. This is creation or purchase of letters that will be given to individual students for certain achievements. So it's a different, I think we are being consistent here.
Deputy Reeve Campbell.
We have students from both the town of Blythe and the East Walmarsh ward that attend Holland Central School. So there is a possibility that they could be, but we have no way of knowing that here, who's receiving this.
Any further discussion? Councillor Knott.
We're just going to point out that half of the students, the kids in Blythe, go to this school. The other half come up here.
Less than half go up here.
Or less than half, no, yeah.
Much
So,
less.
yeah. So it's basically mostly Blythe and East Wawash kids in that school now. Okay.
Councillor Howard.
I don't think should be discriminating about any of these kids, whether they're out, because they come to this school, you cannot discriminate them just because they're across the line. It's not right.
Any further discussion? Donna, this would come from discretionary.
Yes, we budget in our donations for some of these types of things.
Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Okay. Moving to the Reeves activity report, it's basically been trying to keep up with a bunch of the county committee work, especially on the reading that I've had due over the county facility committee in the last, well, since the last council meeting. And I'm still working on the engineering report on the house and dam. Not sure that I have all the facts and figures solidly in my head on that one yet. So that as far as myself, I'll let it go at that for now. Is there anything other councillors have to report on something that might have happened last weekend? Councillor Ritzman-Taninga.
This past weekend was the Alice Munro Festival of the Short Story. Saturday was pretty much a sold out show in Bayfield. We had a lot of great classes, master classes, author readings, and a luncheon with our authors. It was a really fantastic event. And then yesterday was spent here in William. Verna Steffler took on, I think about 26 people on a walk around William, looking at all the Alice Munro sites, places she wrote about in her books. And then there was more author readings, master classes, and then a fabulous luncheon yesterday afternoon where Madeline Team, gave a keynote address, which I hear was incredible. I missed it, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a great weekend, and I think it was one of our most attended weekends in a long time. So really happy with the committee for that.
Councillor Vaughn.
I'd like to make a comment about the CHIP committee that I'm on. The coordinator, who is a staff member of the Huron County Health Unit, has been given an award. I haven't any details on the award except that it's a Road Safety Achievement Award. So it's kind of a recognition of the committee that we're doing a lot of things that are important and helping to reduce the number of accidents and increase the safety of people young and old in the county. I'd like to mention that my wife and I made a little tour of the cemetery at Blythe this past week, and I'm really encouraged with the appearance of that place now. A couple of years ago, we were very, very concerned about what we saw when we went out to investigate the place to see if it's ready for the Memorial Day that's coming up. This time it's ready. It looks great, and so I want to congratulate the staff on what they've done out there this year. Thanks.
Is there anything else? Okay, that there's a notice of motion in 9.1. Because of some tight timelines that we would have to notify people, and that could come, the notice of motion would come forward in our next council meeting. I think because of the tightness of timelines to do a number of things and get some information, that we probably should have a special council meeting a week from tonight. That would give us time to do the advertising. And if 9.1 passes, we would be changing the date from June 18th back to June 11th in the 9.1. But there is some tight timelines if we are to make any adjustment in relation to 9.1, and it would really be a good idea to try and have this as a special council meeting with the one issue and work towards it. And that rather than pass 9.1, with it being the wrong date, I think we should make a motion for a special council meeting if 9.1 does pass, and that would be June 11th. Deputy Reeve
I'll
Campbell.
make a motion that we call a special council meeting on June the 11th.
Councillor Lott, second.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay, we'll proceed into the notice of motion 9.1, and that's request regarding OPP proposal for placing for the Wingham Ward. Richard, do you want to take over that, or?
Me to read it?
Yeah.
Whereas the Council of the Township of North Huron received the Ontario Provincial Police, from the Ontario Provincial Police, a proposal for policing of the Wingham Ward dated September 25th, 2017, and revised on March 1st, 2018. And whereas during the regular council meeting held March 5th, 2018, Council considered said proposal and passed resolution M12718, directing staff to communicate to the Ontario Provincial Police Council's intention to decline their proposal and maintain the Wingham Police Service for policing of the Wingham Ward. And whereas during the regular council meeting held May 22nd, 2018, Council passed resolution M25318 to reconsider resolution M12718. Now therefore be it resolved that Council directs staff to contact the Commissioner of the Ontario Provincial Police, communicating Council's desire to reconsider the said proposal, and request that the Ontario Provincial Police resubmit the said proposal or a version thereof for Council's reconsideration regarding policing of the Wingham Ward.
Discussion? Councillor Sype
I'll move it.
and Councillor Knott.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay, moving to bylaws. 10.1 is bylaw number 56, 2018.
That bylaw 56, 2018, being a bylaw to authorize the Reeve clerk to sign on behalf of Council a library lease agreement between the Township of North Huron and Dean's Holdings, Inc. Be introduced, read a first, second, third, and final time, signed by the Reeve clerk and be endorsed in bylaw.
Okay, Martin and Knott. All in favor? Carried. Okay. So, from what we have just done, the announcements is we will have a special council meeting, June 11th at 7 o'clock. And confirmatory bylaw. Councillor Vaughan, Councillor Hallahan. All in favor? Carried. Now the important motion. Councillor Hallahan, Councillor Sype. All in favor of adjournment? Carried.